This is Marcille. She fails a lot. But if you're an anime fan that's been on Twitter in the past 3 months, chances are you've seen this dumbass white girl. 250,000 likes there, 10,000 retweets here, a new Discord gif over there, and more fan art than a Sonic fan's basement walls. It's not that rare anymore that an anime character explodes on social media. Zero to Bochi, Frieren, motherfucking Megan the Stallion. I mean, have you seen those cosplays? But why Marcille? Why this elf girl who can't stop crashing out every episode? And why Dungeon Meshi, a show about cooking? For a second, just forget that Dungeon Meshi literally translates to dungeon food and trust that it's so much more than a simple cooking anime. Characters that just tug at your heartstrings, action that pulls you to the edge of your seat, made by Studio Trigger, the same people behind this. And the world building? Every nook and cranny of this story is bursting with incredible depth, monsters you won't see in any other show, orcs that make you racist for a little bit, the character designs, the dungeon, the magic, the politics, and the crazy part is, you don't have a character that's like you. What I mean by that is, there is no dumbass or isekai protagonist who's new to the world and doesn't know anything about it. What's special about that is that it makes it so the rules and ideas aren't revealed through a boring ass exposition dump. From the very first episode, you find out that the purpose of this journey is to recover the corpse of Laus's sister, Fallen, after being eaten by a dragon. It's a dark premise for this kind of story, and when I first saw it, I thought, oh, they just want to give her a proper burial. That's cute. But keep your ear to the ground and you pick up a one-liner about experiencing their first death. Listen to a few more conversations about corpse retrieval, and all of a sudden, the ease in which they talk about dying doesn't just feel like it's because death is common for adventurers anymore. It's because resurrection magic exists in this show. Pay attention and you could put that together episodes before they ever show it or mention it directly. And every other detail, no matter how small, has the same amount of thought and effort put into it, and is just as satisfying to find the answer to. Don't believe me? There's a whole encyclopedia of information just for this show. Everything from nasty ass monster biology to random facts about shit like the ecosystem. You can feel the author's passion and love for her characters and this universe. This isn't just good world building for anime, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. After just 9 episodes, I'm willing to run band for band between Dungeon Meshi and some of the GOATs. And I promise it'll be close when it's all said and done. Some media gets worse as you watch it more. An amazing premise gets ruined by ass writing. Plot points start to get repetitive and predictable. Your old favorite Minecraft YouTuber is now, Dungeon Meshi is the exact opposite. It starts kind of slow. The basic loop is they go down a level in the dungeon, do a little crawling, a little scavenging, kill a monster, make some food, and Marcille goes,
I told you that bitch crazy.
That can be fun by itself, but in the background, every answer you get about this world brings 1,000 more questions. Why did an insane wizard put together a dungeon where nobody can die? Why does nobody seem to fuck with the elves? Foreshadowing for characters I don't even know what their impact is gonna be yet. And then the weight of Fallen being digested slowly creeps back into your life like that crazy ex with the septum piercing while Laus is busy wondering about the next tentacle monster he wants to eat. Dungeon Meshi is building towards something bigger here, and what that creates is this world that feels alive and lived in. It creates characters that feel like people with their own history and desires and past relationships, and that brings us right back to Marcille. The world building is the roots of this story, but it's the characters that are these beautiful flowers that grow off of it. part of the reason Marcio took over Twitter is because, yeah, she's a fucking goober. Laos will say some crazy shit and the camera will just pan and zoom in on her pixelated ass face. The gags are genuinely funny sometimes, but she can also be annoying at the start. She's constantly whining about what she has to eat or the situation they're in. But let Dungeon Meshi cook for a little bit. Slowly the layers start to get peeled back and you see her vulnerabilities, her weakness, her genuine desire to just make the world a better place, her willingness to sacrifice everything to save Fallen. She's genuinely upset at the party members who left and decided not to come with them. And it's not a coincidence that as you become more open to seeing the weird ass food they're gonna make, so does she. If telling Senshi to shut the fuck up mid-sentence and being memeable is what got her into the minds of the people on Twitter, her emotion, her humanity is what got into their hearts. Why the fan art hasn't died down like some trend. Laos is the exact same way. At first, you're constantly annoyed at how he's so much more absorbed in eating exotic creatures than saving his own sister. But when it's time to get serious, then you feel his resolve. They're not running out of food, they're not getting tired, they're not making the same mistakes that got his sister eaten in the first place. He's earnest and sincere. He doesn't even think he deserves to be the party leader, but when it's time to step up, nobody is more heroic than Laos. Chillchuck is this stern realist that clashes with the group's optimistic ideals, but really he's just a big softy on the inside. I mean, look at this little guy. And Senshi is motherfucking Senshi, enough said. Yeah, Dungeon Meshi is just a show about cooking monsters in a dungeon, and I don't think that framing will ever change. But look through the episodic cooking anime and what reveals itself is one of the best fantasy worlds anime has to offer, and characters where there is no cliche pervert comedic relief guy that sees a bad bitch walking by and goes, how sublime. And instead, you join an adventure with people who actually enjoy spending time together, people who laugh together, people who just take care of each other. In real life, cooking is just as much about that social aspect as anything else. Sharing stories, laughing, enjoying good food, every relationship and moment in Dungeon Meshi fills you with that same warmth, and without even needing to sacrifice action or story. That's why Marcio took over Twitter, and if you haven't watched it yet, there's still room at the table, so pull up a chair and come join us around the campfire. Laos, I'm not eating that shit.